Good evening. My name is Tiffany R. Easley, and I am the owner and founder of Tiffany R. Easley Enterprises, where we teach you how to soar beyond the drama and trauma of life and live the life of your dreams. I am super excited tonight to share on the Bounce Back DNA page my story. I'm going to start off by sharing my story, and then I'm going to drop 3 nuggets for you to take home and to apply to your life. So grab your pen and paper or whatever you use to take notes. And then while you're doing that, go ahead and share out this video. I am super excited and going to make great use of our time on this Sunday evening. So my story is not one that's a lot of excitement and happy moments, but I want you to stick with me through the not so good moments, because the juicy and the overcoming moments and why I do what I do is toward the end of it. So at the age of 3, I was diagnosed with ovarian cancer, a form of cancer in which it's usually found in ladies or women who have gone through puberty. I was diagnosed, and then I had surgery, and then I had 4 months of chemo. Then at the age of 6, I started to complain of headaches, and I started not performing well in school. So I went from about a B student to an F student, and they found that I had a cyst at the base of my brain, and I also had hydrocephalus, which meant water on the brain. So the plan was to have surgery and to remove the cyst. Well, once they got in, they decided it was inoperable, and they put in a ventricular peritoneal shunt to help regulate the fluid, and I would live with it for the rest of my life. I still have that shunt till this day. Then at 9, I started to have some of the same symptoms that I had when I was 3, and found out that I had multiple cysts on my left ovary, and I lost my left ovary. So at 9, I was engaged in conversations with doctors about infertility. I didn't know what that really meant at 9, and I really wasn't concerned. So around 12 and 15, I had a couple of revisions to my shunt that regulated the cyst at the base of my brain and also regulated the hydrocephalus, because that shunt is plastic, so it can break. I had one that actually disappeared. There's things that can happen to it that will cause it to malfunction. So fast forward a couple years after those revisions, the last revision was at 19. August 1st, 1995, I had to have surgery again. Same surgery I've had number of years. And, I'm a senior in high school, getting ready and getting excited about entering into college on August 16th, and found out on August 1st I had to have brain surgery. Well, things didn't go as planned. What ended up happening is a couple of things. The first thing that happened is I had air in my cranial space, and that was due to a test that they run. The second thing that happened is I developed chemical meningitis. What that means is that blood seeped into my cerebrospinal fluid, and there's nothing that can be done about that. So basically what happens is that blood has to break down. And the third and final thing is the medicine they were giving me to help me with pain, I was allergic to. So that manifested in this way. I had double vision. I was sleeping a lot. My eyes began to roll back in my head, and I was unable to do the things that I should be able to do. And on top of that, it's around August 5th by this time, and I'm due to be in school August 16th, and it's not looking like it's going to happen. Well, I was sent home and then sent back to the emergency room a couple of times, and I finally made it into college. But I will be honest with you, that was the moment when I found myself angry, bitter, frustrated, disappointed, not wanting to live life because I thought, why would I want to live life like this? Hi, Teresa. Hi, Yvette. I really was frustrated. And so I got bitter and I got angry. And I had to find my way through this. So 16 years of battling illness. So I told you it started at 3. I took you all the way up to 19. And it wasn't until I moved to Dallas, Texas, that I found why I had to go through 16 years of struggle. I moved to Dallas, Texas, and because I had been a patient at St. Jude, I figured, why not volunteer for them? And when I volunteered for them, the first thing they asked me is, tell us your story. Well, when I would start to tell them my story that I had ovarian cancer at 3, they would say to me, oh, wow. Oh, my goodness. Like, are you sure? I'm like, yes. And it's very rare. Well, I'm finding out now it's not as rare as it was then. I just read 3 days ago of a 2-year-old that was diagnosed with it. So I volunteered by sharing my story with people who donate to say to them, when you donate to this hospital, 100% of your funds are going to patients like myself because we did not pay for food, travel, or hospital bills. So what that allowed me to do is it allowed me to really see that there was purpose in my pain. I want you to think about that. There's a motive in all of the things that you go through. There's a motive in the journey that you have to walk out in life, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent to you. There's a motive behind it. And that motive is the pain positions you for purpose. The pain that I endured for 16 years through cancer, through hydrocephalus, a cyst at the base of my brain, and through infertility issues positioned me for purpose. The next thing I want you to get out of my story is that you cannot get mad. You have to get motivated. Instead of me getting mad and being bitter about my journey, I had to get motivated and I had to be willing to help other people. And for me, what that looked like was sharing my story like I'm doing tonight. It also afforded me the opportunity to really get clear on how me as a professional woman could help somebody else. So instead of me getting bitter, I decided to be motivated in everything that I did, be intentional in everything that I do. If I'm able to smile to make somebody's day, let me do that. If I'm able to speak a word of peace for somebody that's going through something, let me do that. If I'm able to educate someone about ovarian cancer, about hydrocephalus, about the things that St. Jude does in Memphis, Tennessee, let me do that. So instead of being mad, I got motivated. The next thing I want you to think about is in your story, in your journey, because we all have one and they're all different, is that there's a miracle in your story. And that miracle is this: you have the opportunity to use your journey and your story to make a difference. So I decided not only to start a company, but to start a movement. So my company teaches you how to soar beyond the drama, trauma, and challenges of life to live the life of your dreams. Everybody's drama or trauma challenges does not look the same, but I help you walk through that. The other part of what I do is I help you to tell your story from a place of authenticity, from a place of boldness, and from a place of clarity. It took me a moment to learn how to tell my story without, number one, being angry and being bitter. Number two, it took me a moment to tell my story without being the victim. I'm not a victim, guys. I'm an overcomer. I'm not bitter about it. I wouldn't change anything about those 16 years. I'm actually thankful that I went through that, because I wouldn't be who I am today. I wouldn't be able to help individuals the way that I can today. So because of that, I'm able to share the miracle, which is my platform, and it's to help other people. So I want to encourage you, no matter what your story is, you have to be mindful that there's a motive in that story. And that motive is that there is purpose in the pain. And you have to be mindful that there is a message in that story. And that message is you are not to get mad about it. You're to get motivated about that. You're to make a difference and use that motivation. And then the miracle is that your journey and your story can make a difference in the world. And you start one person, one moment at a time, sharing your story. Again, it doesn't look like mine, and that's okay. But you have to be mindful that your story has power. Platforms just like this are by no mistake or happenstance. Platforms like this are here for people like us to share our story and to make a difference. So I hope you grabbed all of those 3 points, but just in case you didn't, I want to give them again, and then I want to scroll through and answer any questions you have. I want to engage with you and get some feedback on how this was for you, because I've learned how to be powerful and impactful in sharing my story and not to linger too long. So this is what I shared with you. Number 1, there's a motive in your story. There is purpose to the pain. Number 2, there is a message in your story. Don't get mad, get motivated. And number 3, there is a miracle in your story. You have an opportunity to share your journey and your story to make a difference. So what are you going to do? Are you going to share the motive? Are you going to share the message? And are you going to share the miracle of your story? I hope that this has been a blessing for you and to you. I am Tiffany R. Easley, your SOAR strategist, teaching you how to live the life of your dreams. You can follow me on all social media platforms at Tiffany R. Easley. My website is tiffanyreasley.com. And while I'm still on here, let's see if there were any questions that came in. No questions, guys. Well, that's my story, and that's who I am. I'm a I'm 42, so 39-year-old cancer survivor of hydrocephalus and a cyst at the base of my brain and infertility issues. And I'm excited about it because I still have a story and I have people to help. I hope that you've been blessed this evening. And I hope that you'll take those nuggets that I gave you and that you'll apply them and you'll share them with someone else. So if you don't have any questions, then I'm going to give you back your evening. Miss Teresa, thank you so much. Bounce Back DNA, you guys are amazing. You took me out of my comfort zone this evening, and I am totally excited. I will only continue to go forward with my story and continue to share it with the world. Have an amazing evening, guys.